On this week's edition of The Overtime, we'll be on the road to take a look at NAU women's basketball and volleyball. Then, we'll get an inside look at NASCAR down in the Valley. Finally, we will see high school sports with playoffs around the corner. All that and more on this edition of The Overtime. Hello folks, and welcome to The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I am your host, Connor Emery, and today I am joined by my co-host, Elena Robla. Elena, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Connor. I'm so excited to be here today. Let's get into things.
College basketball has started, and the NAU women's basketball team has been on the road 2 of their first 3 games. They made a stop in Las Vegas to take on UNLV. Sports reporter Tony Braca is in the studio to tell us more. Tony, how was going back to your hometown to cover NAU?
It's always nice to cover your hometown, and getting to see some of the best basketball in the Mountain West was a treat. Connor, Noah Butler, and I took a trip up to Las Vegas in order to perform an early season checkup on what should be a top contender in the Big Sky Conference. The NAU women's basketball team was picked to win the Big Sky Conference in both the media and coaches polls, and 6'2" junior center Sophie Glancy was selected as the preseason Big Sky MVP. Head coach Lori Payne is on pace this season to set the career coaching wins record at NAU and knows that the team still has a lot of work to do before they make the trip up to Boise, Idaho for the Big Sky Tournament.
Obviously, a lot of that was UNLV took us out of our offense a little bit just because of their pressure and their physicality. But just proud of the team. I think we're seeing big strides. One of the big things that we took from this game is obviously giving up 24 O boards, and that led to 27 second chance points. That was the difference.
The match against UNLV was a strong performance from possibly the best team the Mountain West has to offer. Despite keeping it tied coming out of the first quarter, UNLV was able to take advantage of some of NAU's weaknesses. The Lady Rebels forced 18 turnovers, though with several players making their foray into the starting lineup this season, such as junior point guard Taylor Feldman and junior forward Sanaya Neverson, who played major minutes in the UNLV game. The Lumberjacks are still building chemistry. The Lumberjacks have made it to the Big Sky Championship game in each of the past 3 years, but have fallen short in each against 3 different opponents. This year, with all of the firepower Payne's team has, they look to finally get over the hump.
We showed a lot of good reps in all of our defensive calls, and so we're excited to to have that much in our arsenal will be good for different teams that we face with different strengths.
The team has gotten off to a rocket of a start with a massive win against the University of New Mexico, a competitive loss to UNLV, who were a ranked outfit last season, and a dominating win in their home opener against Fort Lewis. The Lumberjacks have been strong in non-conference play the last few years and look to continue that as they move on to face the University of the Pacific on November 17th, and then come home to take on their first Power Conference opponent in the University of Arizona on November 20th at the Roll Activity Center. Tony Braca, NAZ Sports. The NAU women's basketball team is always entertaining, and with U of A coming to town next week, that shouldn't change anytime soon.
That's right, Tony. NAU football is near the end of the season with their last road game this Saturday against Northern Colorado. Head coach Brian Wright is prepared for this key match.
We're just focused on us getting better and trying to take what they give us. Certainly we put a good game plan together. We've scouted them. And we're just, working extremely hard to reach our full potential and play our best game on the road.
A win in Northern Colorado would put them in a better position to secure a spot in the FCS playoffs. On the other side, NAU volleyball fell against conference rival Sacramento State this past Saturday for the second time this season. The Lumberjacks suffered a 3-0 sweep and dropped to 4-8 in Big Sky Conference play.
Sports reporter Catherine Lemish is here to provide us an update on how NAU volleyball is doing as they are near the end of the regular season.
Thanks, Connor. The NAU women's volleyball team fought hard against Sacramento State. The final games of the season are fast approaching, and the Lumberjacks will have to rally together to finish out these last conference matchups strong. I got to go out to the game and capture all the action. The NAU women's volleyball team faced Sacramento State this past weekend in a heartbreaking 3-set loss for the second time this season. After coming off a 3-0 win against Portland State, the Lumberjacks tried to keep their momentum going but fell short in the third and final set. Hannah Stoddard, outside hitter, was hopeful the Lumberjacks could reverse the outcome in the rematch with the Hornets.
I think we knew that their outside hitters were going to be a strong, offense for them. So I think we went into this game kind of trying to shut them down as much as we could. And then our serve receive, we've really sharpened up since that game, so I thought that was a good part of our game today. We just couldn't quite get everything shut down on their offense today.
Sacramento State took a 4-0 lead in the second set. Both teams were tied to 8-8, but NAU had a surge of a 3-1 run featuring plays by Stoddard, Courtney Euler, and Taylor Jacobson. Coach Ken Murphy says he was pleased with his team's resiliency.
I'm proud of them. We're getting better. And I think, today was not our best day in several phases, and I thought they kept working hard. I thought they kept competing. I thought they were super optimistic about how we could do in that last set, even towards the end, and we were still being aggressive. So really, when you put yourself in these situations, that's all you can do is play hard, play as hard as you can, do your best, and see what that turns into. And today it just wasn't enough.
The Lumberjacks showed great resilience, but a few unforced errors in the final set cost them the match. Still, they've got a lot to build on. NAU wraps up its final road trip Saturday at Idaho State before returning home for its final 2 matches next week.
Buckle up, because after the break, we'll tell you what went down at Phoenix Raceway over the weekend.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back. I went down to Avondale this past weekend for NASCAR Cup Championship weekend. So many Arizona fans were there rooting for their favorite drivers, especially Tucson driver Alex Bowman. Take a look. It was one of the biggest motorsports events in the nation, and local fans could not be more excited to have a racetrack in their backyard.
Love it. Awesome. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I moved to Arizona about 17 years ago, and then I started watching NASCAR because I was out here.
It just brings so much revenue to the city and to the valley, and you get to meet so many eclectic people.
And it wasn't just locals. Fans came from all across the nation to see their favorite drivers.
I follow junior motorsports mostly, Kyle Busch, big names like that.
I'm a huge Blaney fan since he started racing.
This event also drew in big names like 2 of the world's most famous Michaels down on pit row. Michael Jordan as owner of the 23XI team, and Michael Phelps as the pace car driver.
Everything has to be perfect in these situations for us to have the best outcome, right? So there are things that are out of our control, but if we can just go out there and be the best version of ourselves, that's when I think we're able to be our authentic self and you see what we can actually do.
But no matter how big the event, Arizona fans were still rooting for one of their own, Tucson driver Alex Bowman.
He's a hometown boy. He's from Tucson. When we first started getting into NASCAR, found out he was from Tucson, we were like, we have to support Bowman, and have loved him ever since.
Elena Robla, NAZ Sports.
It's great to have a NASCAR race here in Arizona where fans can come watch their favorite racers and enjoy the action.
And the race itself did not disappoint Connor. Reporter Faith Rodriguez is in the studio to tell us more.
Last weekend was NASCAR's Cup Series championship race. There were 4 racers in that lead for the Cup. Last weekend determined who that winner was. In the final round of the series playoffs, the 4 drivers competing at Phoenix Raceway were Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron. In the last lap of the race, Logano was able to advance from 6th place to 1st, overtaking teammate Blaney.
What a race. What a Team Penske battle there at the end. Had a good restart, was able to get in front of the 12, and he got a lot longer on speed there, and that's all I had there to hold him off. So being 3 of them, that's It's really special, Marty.
Logano was able to hold off Blaney by 8/25 of a second for the win. Global Director at Ford, Mark Rushbrook, says Logano is focused on all elements of racing.
Joey's a racer through and through. All he wants to do is win, and that's all he thinks about. And it's not just his driving that he's worried about. He's worried about every single element of the program.
Logano, now a third-time champion, ties with NASCAR Hall of Famers Lee Petty, David Pearson, Cale Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, and Tony Stewart. Faith Rodriguez, NAZ Sports.
Thanks, Faith. There was another trophy at stake this weekend as the Flag High and Coconino football teams battled for the city championship.
That's right, Elena. The crosstown rivals faced each other last Friday to cap off the regular season for both of the teams. We'll have more details about the game right after the break.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Welcome back to the overtime. Flagstaff High School had one of their rivalry football games against Coconino last Friday.
I was at Cromer Stadium, and while it was a chilly night, it was an exciting match as there were playoff hopes on the line. The Flagstaff Eagles and Coconino Panthers took the field last Friday night in their 55th annual rivalry match. Fans gathered and filled up the seats at Cromer Stadium to enjoy the game despite the weather conditions. While the weather was cold, the Panthers came out hot after Dylan Collado returned a punt for 70 yards for a touchdown in the first quarter.
There's the snap and the punt. There's a rush, but gets it away. Collado's going to take it at the 30-yard line. Goes to the far side. Turns the corner, breaks through a couple of walls. Now he's got some room. Crosses midfield to the 40,
He's gone.
30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dylan Collado and the Coconino Panthers. 60-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Collado also contributed to 42 yards of receiving and got another touchdown late in the first half from his quarterback, Colton Buckingham.
It feels great. I mean, I couldn't have done it without my linemen. I mean, they put in a lot of work for us, but it just means a lot to me. It's my first ever varsity game, and it feels great.
The Eagles fought a hard battle and kept it close in the first half and were only down 15 points at halftime. However, the Panthers' offense continued to dominate in the second half, which led to a 49-26 victory. Eagles head coach Mickey Clements is proud of his team and celebrated the team's seniors.
Just how proud of them that we are as coaches, how much we love them, and just the way they battled all year, and going back to, the off season and the weight room, and just what they've overcome. Coming off a couple of tough seasons before, and their sophomore, junior year, the program was struggling, and then these guys really got out there together, worked hard, and made a big difference for us.
With the Panthers win, they move on to the postseason and visit number 4 seed Micah Mountain this upcoming Friday in Tucson. While this was a dominant win for Coconino, they look to keep the momentum going and make a deep run in the playoffs. Connor Emery, NAZ Sports. It was great to see a huge turnout for both sides for the rivalry game. Coconino has a tough match ahead of them in their first playoff game this weekend in Tucson, but they are capable of pulling off an upset, Elena.
Speaking of high school sports, Flag High Girls Volleyball hosted a state quarterfinal on Tuesday. Sports reporter Aishaya Tanaka has the story.
The Flagstaff High girls volleyball team hosted their final match of the season Tuesday night in the AIA Girls Volleyball 4A State Championships. The Eagles faced the Saguaro Sabercats, and the game ended on a tip, where the Eagles lost 3-1. Head coach Beth Haglin has been with the Eagles for nearly 40 years, and while the match did not go as expected, Coach Haglin says there's still plenty to be proud of.
every single year we expect to go to state, we expect to perform well and do well. And I think those expectations spill out into the team, and we usually do really well. And we did well tonight. We knew it was going to be a close game, and so the girls were ready.
One of the key players this season is senior setter Macy Mosang. Mosang reflects on the journey she's had with her teammates.
Our chemistry has been so good. I played with these girls for like my whole life, and I don't know, we just came together, and then we had a great season. We just fell short tonight.
At the net with Mosang is senior outside hitter Rachel Hagerman. Hagerman expresses how driven the team was for the game.
I just think we were all really motivated because we didn't want to end this way, so I think that we all really wanted to win really bad. So
Coach Haglund acknowledges her valuable senior players and is excited to see who will be filling those positions in the next season.
I think we've got some fantastic kids coming up, and they'll fill those voids. Although those seniors are pretty hard shoes to fill. I mean, they're big shoes. So we'll see. We just got to respond well.
Aishaya Tanaka, NAZ Today.
I was at the game as well, and while it was a disappointing end to the season for the Eagles, they still had a remarkable year as they finished the season 37-3 and 12-0 in their region.
That's all we have for you tonight. Thank you all for joining us for this edition of The Overtime.
I want to thank our sports reporters Tony Braca, Catherine Lemish, Faith Rodriguez, and Aishaya Tanaka. I'd also like to thank my co-host Elena Robla. I'm Connor Emery, and we'll see you next Friday for this next edition of The Overtime.